I'm your host, Steve Martin. Tonight we're going to visit with local artists Julie Silvers and Francis Rodriguez. But first, let's watch Julie Silvers at work at her home studio in Old Metairie.
I was born in Memphis, Tennessee, but I've basically been in New Orleans my whole life. I never set out to be an artist. My mom is an incredible artist, and I was around art my entire life. I go up into her studio and talk to her after school, and I just watch her work. And I always loved doing art, but it wasn't ever something that I set out to do or be. I grew up with art and watching art and that whole thing, but I kind of went the more traditional route. I went to Tulane. I ended up getting a master's in social work and did not want to pursue art. It just so happened that, my mom was painting and doing stuff, and I started doing ceramics, really. She had a kiln. Just while I was still in college, I would say at least 30 years ago, and people bought it, and it was for fun. And then I ended up marrying David. I went to social work school, and I continued. I started with those nude plates that were whimsical nudes, and people bought them. Most important to me is, I think, being a wife and a mother. And I've been married 25 years, and that came first. And the art fit into that because I could do the art and be a mom and a wife at the same time. I realized I'm still a mom and I'm still a wife, and that was still my priority. Like when Taylor left for school, it was really rough, and I turned to art. As much as I resisted it and didn't want to be, quote, like my mom, because I saw her struggle with it, it happened naturally. Art found me, but I never tried to be an artist. Really, I can't spend a day without producing art, and I see art all around me. I see beauty everywhere, and I see it in nature, I see it in style, design. It doesn't really matter. I love all art. Ceramics was my first love and the easiest for me to do. I have some tools, but I'm using my hands constantly. And it's the feel of the clay. I can smell the clay. I love working with clay. And I feel like my sculptures are part of who I am. And I put so much effort and energy into the work. They're part of me. I consider myself a self-taught artist, but I watched my mother, and I guess I learned from her. I took a couple ceramic classes from some wonderful people. They really taught me a lot, but you learn to do by doing, and you could do something like 200 times, and it might be on that 220th that you finally get it, and it's finally good. Art, for me, is the heart and it's the gut. And when I do something, there is so much feeling and so much emotion in it. I think New Orleans is an amazing place to be an artist. I think that there's so many creative things, from our music to our food. There is a celebration of life in this city. I think that there's something really cool happening in New Orleans right now with artists supporting other artists. What a beautiful thing, not to be in competition with one another, but, to kind of come together and help. My paintings are about happiness and color, and I want them to just bring joy to whoever views them. My art isn't supposed to mean anything. It's supposed to bring the viewer joy and happiness and how I felt painting it. And usually I'm listening to music, I'm having a good time, and life is good.